weird. This is strange. Is that even possible? A man going through abuse. Is it possible for a woman to actually abuse a man? And they are wondering, I don't even understand. So before we start, and before I start asking our guests tonight some questions, I want you to take us into the mind of a female abuser, a female narcissist. Because to some people, they're like, oh, I can't even comprehend. Right? So from your line of work, your career, your experience, what drives the behavior of a female narcissist, and how does it typically show up in relationships?
Okay. What drives the mind of the female narcissist is exactly what drives the mind of the male narcissist. It's exactly what drives the mind of the male narcissist. It's a desire to control. It's an intrinsic self-hatred that makes them lash out at people who either seem to be doing better, who seem to be more stable, who seem to be more happy. Anything positive happening around people, the narcissist is jealous of. So they start to attack, they start to demean, they start to vilify, that kind of thing. So, but for me, let me say it this way, the way I say it, female narcissists are probably worse than male narcissists. You know why? Women have a womb. Whatever we take, we cook it. We incubate it. We get a small seed, microscopic seed of a sperm. We incubate it and bring forth a full human being. So anything where women enter, they enter and reach levels where they make person fear. So what drives the female narcissist is exactly what drives the male narcissist: the need for control, the need for human compliance from everybody else. All right, the need for fuel. We don't have the time to analyze the narcissist right now. And then how does it show up in the women? Most female narcissists are high flying. Those are the ones they call the cerebral narcissists. There are two types of narcissists. There's the low level narcissist, there's the middle narcissist, and then there's the cerebral narcissist. So most female narcissists are high flying. Most of them are very entrepreneurial. Even if they go to school, they have that tendency to produce, to create, and all of that. And many of them are high maintenance. They complain about everything. They correct everyone. They are vicious. Even when they're correcting, they're not nice. They're vicious. They are unforgiving. They are proud, very arrogant. And a man who is getting into a relationship with a female narcissist will be love bombed like anybody else. She will be so available, so loving, so sensitive, so aware of your needs, so willing to meet them, running around for you, and you'll be like, wow. There's a man like that I met. He got this woman. He was like, oh, she does everything. And when I tell her to sit down, she sits down. I looked at him and said, okay, she did find something. He married that woman and ended up running out of Nigeria because he left Nigeria completely. Not the city where they were living or the house. He left Nigeria. His life was at stake. So it shows up in the woman in many ways. But basically, it's about the same malevolence, the same lack of empathy, the same lack of compassion, the same lack of patience, the same demand that you do everything they say when they say it. And when you fall into the hands of a narcissist, honestly, it does not respect gender. Nobody can encounter narcissism and remain the same, whether they are male or female. You encounter the narcissist, you come away wounded, burned, broken. So it's not a gender thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is interesting. This is going to be very, very interesting tonight.
Yeah.
So you see, there's this notion while we're growing up, when we tell our boys, why are you crying? Don't tell that big boys don't cry. So you have your 5-year-old boy and your maybe 4-year-old or 6-year-old daughter, and both of them are playing, and both of them fall down, hurt their leg. And the girl comes crying to you and say, oh, my princess, sorry. And then the boy comes crying to you and they say, why? What's wrong with you? Why are you crying? Don't you know you're a boy? Don't cry. So it looks as if while children are growing up at a young age, we tell the man, your emotions don't matter. You are not allowed to feel sad. You are not allowed to cry. You know, you say men don't cry. Real men don't cry. I've heard it somewhere before. I remember interviewing my 80-something-year-old dad from years ago, and I asked him this question. He said, who said that? That is nonsense. And he was telling me about the times that he has cried and things like that. So, but people don't understand. People think that when they see a man, that man doesn't have emotions, right? And it even shows in sometimes the way parents, you talk to your male staff, male people. I was like, he's also a human being. He's also so I want you to quickly tell us, and I'm going to start asking our guest. I can see our guest is in the house tonight, and we're so grateful for him joining us tonight. And we are going to keep him anonymous. That's why you can't say him, but he's going to be sharing with us tonight. But can you help us understand what happens internally when a man lives under consistent emotional and psychological abuse? What is going on inside the head of the man? How does man cope with it?
You know what? The first thing I would say is we have to start changing these narratives. Honestly. I always say if God didn't mean for men to cry, men will not have tears. If God didn't design men to cry, they wouldn't have tears. God doesn't waste anything. He doesn't waste anything. Man is as emotional as woman. It's conditioning that makes men to hold back all their emotions from the time they're small. And stop crying there like a woman. Who told you that it's only women that cry? Is it only women that feel pain? Is it only women that feel pain? The only difference is that us women, once we feel small pain, we start crying. Tears will be flowing. But men, they have been told, you can't cry. If you cry, you are weak. If you cry, you are soft. If you cry, you are a weakling. If you cry like you are a woman. We must change those narratives. We must give men the freedom, the liberty, the permission to feel
human being,
to be human. Let me give you an example of how these things even show up in adulthood. They tell the man, you have to be strong, you have to be tough, you have to know everything, you are the leader, you are the no room for being so. A man can be going somewhere with his wife. He has lost his way. The wife is telling him, sweetheart, let's go like this. No, I know what I'm doing. No, I know what I'm doing. Until they get to the end of the road and it's blocked. And he will not say, oh, sorry. He'll talk, this road, he'll just turn his car and start going. That act of, if the wife said to him, can we ask somebody? No, I know what I'm doing. He feels that asking somebody means he's weak.
So it's the pressure.
It's the pressure
that we have to demand.
It's the pressure. So when a man is in an environment where he's being psychologically abused, where he's being verbally abused, where he's even physically abused, because of the perception outside, he begins to see himself as inadequate. He'll begin to see himself as not enough. He'll begin to see himself as a failure. He'll begin to feel shame because he's worried that people outside may know what is happening to him now. And then shame by him. And what does shame do? Shame cripples. Shame cripples physical capacities. Shame cripples mental capacities. Shame cripples emotions. Shame cripples the psyche. Now, when somebody is crippled like that, how can his productivity be anything to write home about? Productivity would grind to a halt or be minimal. Emotions will be locked down. So somebody is bottling and bottling and bottling. Guess what? This is partly why more men have stroke than women. This is probably one of the major reasons why more men have stroke than women. Because
slumping and dying. I've heard that so many times.
Yes. So the man is bottling and bottling and bottling. There's no outlet. If he tells other men will laugh at him. Even the men have to be re-educated. What is wrong with a man putting his head on another man's shoulder and crying because he's in pain?
Exactly.
What is wrong with that? That's humanity. That is our humanity. So the man also becomes an insomniac. No sleep. He can't sleep because every day he's worrying about what is coming next. What is she coming to say next? How will she scream next? What will she call me next? What will she do next? There was one movie that trended one time in Nigeria many years ago. It was called August Meeting. August Meeting. I don't think you watched that video of that movie. August Meeting was a movie that was centered around women who harassed their husbands so bad. For rapper to go to August Meeting in the village for shoe, for bag, for money that the husbands didn't have. You know what the men were doing? The houses they built, they could not stay in there. They would tiptoe home around 2 a.m. when they're sure she has slept. Sleep in the sitting room. Run into the children's bathroom to bathe around 4 a.m. By 5:30, they have run out of the house with their briefcase. It's their house, but they no longer have peace. Yeah, so all of those things will play. The man will feel less of himself. His productivity will drop. Insomnia, mental and emotional and physical diseases can come from being in a state of constant anxiety. Constant anxiety. That's where the man lives. And many men just want peace, especially when they come home. And if you are with a narcissist wife or an abusive wife, home is not a place of peace. So you find men who go to the beer parlor and sit there till 4 a.m. The barman has to say, we are closing, no, please, you have to go. Some of them will go, but they will sleep in the car. They will sleep in the car. So a lot of things go on with the man. The same way a woman who's been abused falls apart, it's the same way a man who's been abused falls apart. Why? We are one and the same. Was the woman not pulled out of the man? For everything she is, It's emotional more. Perhaps even more. They took of him to make you. So whatever you feel, the man feels it. But like I said again, it's conditioning that makes the man hide the pain he feels.
Wow.
It's conditioning.
Wow. Thank you so much, ma. I know, like I said, once we hear tonight from our guest survival. And sir, right? I just want to thank you so much, for the courage in being here tonight. I know it takes a lot. The society has boxed the male gender, but by the grace of God, we are breaking the silence, and we are going to, keep educating so that men can actually have the freedom to be human beings. So I want to just, start by saying, can you share with us tonight a bit of your story? What the relationship looked like at first, and when did you actually realize that you are being abused in that relationship, sir? Yes, we can. But maybe we can turn some of the volume a little bit.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, being here is not quite an easy task, but then I'm here today. I would like to also say.
Yeah, can you just show him some love in the comment section? Let's just show him some love in the comment section.
Begin to get back some memories of the past, and I see that most of what you're talking about is exactly what it is. It's it has to do with control, like the Reverend said. It has to do with control, want to be in control. So it could be either the female or the male. But let me come down to myself. With the relationship started like every other relationship, very good, loving. It was so nice. We all talked about nice couple, nice relationship, and gradually, I didn't even notice it. I didn't see it because it's difficult for a man to notice when he's being abused. You take it like a father and a daughter affair. You try to see how to help your partner. That's the way it starts. You try to see how to help your partner. Even when you see this is this way, you feel you can endure. You feel it will get better. You feel it could change. You need to be there for the person. And while you're being abused gradually until it becomes so severe. So like I said, the relationship started well, lived well, spent some time together, went to church together, had kids, and so on. But it's had to do with control. You wanting to let it be what you see that happens in the house, and you want to be, it has to be forceful. It just has to be this or nothing. So that leads to physical abuse. It starts with talks, emotional, and then suggestions, and it has to be the way I say it. And then when it's not that way, you get angry, and then you become physical. So I think I'll throw more light as you ask the question, because I mean, it's my first time doing this, and when I was in the relationship, I couldn't talk to anyone because it wasn't just because of somebody feeling that I'm weak. It was more of you protecting your family. You protecting your family. You don't want to embarrass your partner or let people know. The man always wants to keep his home, so you tend to hide some of these things going on, and you don't feel it to get better.
And you know, he said something that struck me. He said at the beginning, it was nice. Then when you started noticing, you said, let me help my spouse. It will get better. It will change. This is exactly the sentiment of the female in an abusive relationship. It's when he was saying it, that's exactly what we say when we're being abused. He will get better. He will change. Let me stand by my man. Let me support him. So, like I said earlier, as we are, so are the men. You can see the same emotions playing here. And that's powerful. And then he said that as he's remembering now, maybe he's having panic attack or anxiety attack or trauma is coming back as he's thinking about some of the things he has experienced. Hear him say, I've not done this before. But it's okay, sir. I really commend you for the courage to come out here, but you don't know what your participation today will do. You don't know the deliverance you will bring to thousands of people to your sir. You have given voice to many voiceless men.
You know why you think of helping your partner? Because in the course of the relationship, you get to see the background. Some of this abuse comes from, maybe that's you, but the background, if your spouse comes from an abusive home, so there's a tendency that she wants to fight the father or the mother's fight in her own home. For instance, if you're watching TV, and for instance, she remembers that at home, when she was growing up, the mom took the remote control and the dad did something. Once you pick up the remote control, she begins to react, even when there is no issue. So I think some of these things come from growing up background, the things they see. It leads to them trying to defend themselves so they don't get into similar situations and thereby become
excessive,
abusive. While in my relationship, after much of the abuse, you see your partner coming back after some time and so I'm sorry, trying to explain things again, and you want to see how to help the person to be a better person. But sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know if I still love it. I can't tell, but it didn't work. So in some of the abuse, you can imagine a woman giving a man a knock on the head.
Oh my God.
Something to do with kids. It's not for adults. So there's so many of the experiences. I mean, it's not one.
Can you share some of those experiences with us, sir?
The thing about it is, you can't really tell anyone because you don't even know. I think it's difficult for men to tell stories or to narrate how things that happen. But the female gender is quick to remember things and and one of the things I see with the abusive issues that what you can't really say is before you even get reports, she's already there. So you don't even have an opportunity. You don't have an opportunity to see what has happened because the society has seen it that whether the female or whether weaker person, I don't know how to explain, but it's like someone going to the police station. First person to get to the police station to be
the right person.
I don't know. So before you make your report, I'm saying it because there were times we tried to get to church and other places, and then By the time, if you hear me first, you want to consider. By the time you hear, I begin to look like a bad one. So it's difficult to explain yourself. So, and the more you explain yourself, you're embarrassing your family. That's what it seems. But I mean, you guys are the coach. You're able to tell us more. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you again. We just have to keep saying thank you for your courage. Thank you for doing this. Like Reverend Christie said, is about the many millions of men who are experiencing abuse and they don't even know what to do. They are stuck, and some of them have even lost their lives. Some of them are dealing with diseases and sicknesses. So it's about actually saving lives. But as we just continue tonight, I would, if you don't mind, I also don't want you to, whatever you're not comfortable in sharing is fine, because we don't want you to get too triggered. But if you don't mind, can you share with us, because you just said this person gives you a knock, as in how does that even happen? So tell us about some of the types of abuse you experience, the physical, the instances, and things like that. Again, just to shed more light to this topic tonight.
Okay. In an argument so conversation leads to an argument, and before you've gotten a slap.
Wow.
It's not that if you want to react, you could probably kill your partner with your own hands. You don't want to be obviously stronger than the partner, but because of maybe the discipline or what you want to achieve, you don't want to. Because I also know that people that abuse people are quick to report abuse against themselves, and then so you're being careful. So you might be arguing and then you just get a slap. I've been driving and my partner pulls the steering for me. He's dragging the steering for me, so Constantine on the road. So what do you do in such a situation? You just hurt, people are watching you, and you don't even know. People will not even believe that it's your partner doing this. They think it's you are the one, because the society looks at it as the man is always the one abusing the woman. At one point in time, I got all of my phones thrown into a bucket of water and then put up my phones all through the night. And I could actually struggle and get those things out of it, and then we'll fight. But because I know who I'm dealing with, I just relax. And by the morning, you see your partner pleading to you. She wakes you up. I'm sorry. And then both phones are destroyed completely. You can't even recover them because they stayed over 3-4 hours in the water. So you lose everything and you start afresh. And the same people that the abusers, that's right one, have a lot of strength. My partner can fight with you from 9 till 4 a.m. and she could get up by 5 and go to work. You are completely exhausted the whole day. You can't even understand yourself. So it's really pathetic, when you cannot react. And you're so much. You really want to react, but because you've not reacted before and you've been reported on this matter, you're holding yourself. So there won't be any reason. There won't be anything, because it will be turned around. You slap me first. So you can take 3 slaps before you won't do anything. There are situations where I am pleading and begging. Situations I have to jump over the balcony and get out of the house. Because
you jump over the balcony upstairs.
I climb down. Is it that I can't deal with the matter? I can, but it would be rough. It would be physical, and then I don't want it to be like, And we have kids, and we're watching. They don't understand about them. They always start to say,
don't say it.
What the kids see, and then they tend to say certain things. So I have to keep my cool, so it doesn't affect the kids and it doesn't change the family. But my greatest regret is, after being cool for this number of years, I still could not recover my family. So what was the use? If all of this had happened and then I could recover my family, that would have been very good, but then it didn't work. So I wouldn't. I'm not saying this for men to stay and continue to stay. I think you should seek help, because the abuse will be physical, by words, physical, and destruction of your properties. Like I said, my phone and all the rest. So you want to stay cool. When you see your partner, especially in public, you try to maintain, so you don't create a scene or scenario. So my neighbors all knew all of this. In fact, on one of the occasions, my neighbor said he wanted to see me, and then he drove me somewhere with somebody, and the person was trying to coach me on what to, because they saw it, and I don't know how they got to see. Oh no, they saw one of the days I ran out of the house, so that's they saw. I think they've seen it, so I don't know. Let you talk.